Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad you all could be with us. Also, those joining us are online affiliates around the world, thanks to iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. Glad you all could be with us as well. I'm excited to welcome Ms. Libby Anthony to our program today. She's written a book that I think anyone who's into the entertainment industry, but also history, will really appreciate. It's called Atlanta Entertainment History: Historic Contributions of Entrepreneurs Who Pioneered Jukin in the A. We're going to talk to Ms. Anthony not only about the writing of the book, but also what it was like for her to not only look at the city's history, but also those who really have made the entertainment industry what it is there, and I think really in our country. If you all are just now finding out about Atlanta entertainment history, of course we'll let you know how to get your own copy of it. But Ms. Anthony, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Good morning, Cyrus. Good morning, audience of Cyrus.
Well, look, I appreciate you. Well, and we should say, Ms. Anthony, evening for those who are joining us in Mississippi on WYAD. They'll be listening to this in the evening. You know, first of all, congratulations to you on this book. And I want to definitely shout out Mr. Joseph Thomas Jr. for connecting the two of us, telling me about you and what you've done. I want to begin with where we are, though, Ms. Anthony. What has it been like for you to see the way that people are responding to the book so far?
It's amazing, and it's a relief. It was a 2-year project, Cyrus, to complete the book and get it to print. So it's been a relief off my shoulders just not to have that hanging over my head anymore. But it's also been very pleasing and enlightening and motivating that it's being so well received, not only for from the people that I know and support me, family and friends, but others I was surprised to see, people in the industry, icons, legends who have said it's so important and such well done, very important. Right. So it's very heartening.
Well, there's a few things I want to talk to you about, Ms. Anthony, because I think it's interesting what you said. There will be people who will pick this book up just because of you. And like you said, what you've been able to do in the entertainment industry and the impact you've made. There are others, though, that will be intrigued by the title. Maybe they don't know a lot about, as I didn't know, about the history of Atlanta in the industry. But I think the third group is probably going to be the biggest group, and that is those individuals who are unsung heroes, people who we've never heard of, who made such an impact not only in Atlanta but in the industry. Is that what you hope, that you're able to not only to share the history of the city when it comes to entertainment, but also the people who made it possible?
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I learned so much in writing the book that I was even intrigued and awed. I have a couple of characters in the book, a couple of people that I ran across. I call the godmother and the godfather of Atlanta entertainment. One was Neil Montgomery, who in his endeavors back in the 40s, he had a nightclub with Sunset Casino that had amusement rides and skating, but he also was the innovator who helped bring WERD radio with Mr. Blanton, which was the first black-owned radio station in the country, helped establish that through the FCC. He also was the arbiter of the American Federation of Musicians, which is the musicians' union. Back in the day, of course, black people couldn't be a part of that union. So he was instrumental in starting a black chapter of the union here in Atlanta. And there was another lady I call the godmother, another character I call the godmother of entertainment in Atlanta. and that is Miss Carrie Cunningham. People know the Royal Peacock. The Royal Peacock stands out in history of music like the Apollo of New York. As a matter of fact, the Royal Peacock is still open, but a lot of people, very, very few remember that place was started by a woman, Miss Carrie Cunningham, who started it to keep her son, who was a musician, off the road to protect him from lynchings. Because he was kind of roustabout. He went around, and oftentimes she had to get him out of jail, and he'd pawn the bus, and he'd get all the band members back into Atlanta. But to keep him off the road and protect his life, she opened up and bought that club, the Royal Peacock. And he ran the club, and she actually had a hotel. She ran it. She became good friends with Dr. King. She was one of the governors, and the mayors all came to her. She was a powerful woman in her day. And it's people like that who we owe so much to in our walk. We don't, we shouldn't just let their stories die. And that's one reason I wrote the book, because there are a lot of people who contribute, and nobody thinks of club owners as heroes, but back during the civil rights movement, believe it or not, it was the club owners and the restaurateurs who got Dr. King paid the bills for those who were marching to get out of jail. They had cash rich businesses, so they had money available to send to get Dr. King out of Birmingham jail, or Montgomery, wherever he was jailed, and other civil rights movers and the freedom riders. It was the nightclub owners that provided, a lot of the nightclub owners and restaurateurs that provided the backbone of that. And another thing, the numbers men, how important they were to the black community. You have to get the book.
Yeah. Well, so let's stay with the women for a moment, Miss Anthony, because again, as what you've shared even here already, and what we were able to see in the book, women like Millie Jackson. I think a lot of times people may know the name, but may not realize many ways being seen as a trendsetter. You talk about in the book how even DeBrat, when DeBrat was talking about Millie Jackson, called her the mother of hip hop, and even going on to be able to collaborate and produce other music with other audience, and getting a crossover status. Did you have those wow moments when you kind of realize that there are people who we think we know, but when you really look at their history, that they had done more than even you'd realized?
Absolutely, absolutely. And Millie Jackson is one of those persons. You think of Millie's exciting, I always call it Vegas style live show, her concert appearances. But she's a very shrewd business lady, and she has always been a great mom and cut pathways in the industry for a number of people. Even Roseanne Barr gives her credit for opening up doors, allowing ladies to be a little bit more risque, opening those doors. A lot of people don't even know she recorded with Elton John. She's a rock star, too.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, she has a rich legacy also in song with her daughter, Keisha, who is mentioned in the book, and Keisha's daughter, Courtney, who is, I guess she's a millennial now. She might be 20-some years old now. They sing and have their own performances and stage presence. They follow in their mom's footsteps. And that's another thing I think the book is important for young people, because there are some stories that people very talented did not turn out well, did not have happy endings, because they end up on the wrong side of the track, if we may. So there's a lot to learn about, even in people's pitfalls and tragedies. There's a lesson to be learned if you so bother to look that deeply.
Right. And I think that is the big thing. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live We're excited to welcome for the very first time to our program Ms. Libby Anthony. We're talking with her not only about her own love of the entertainment industry, but also now her contribution to it and to history with her book, Atlanta Entertainment History. And in this book, she's able to give us a look at individuals who've definitely been able to make a difference. As the subtitle of the book says, Historic Contributions of Entrepreneurs Who Pioneered Jukin in the A. The book's available right now through our friends at Amazon.com, both in print and the Kindle edition. Another individual you mentioned in the book that I wanted to make sure that we talk about here is someone, Joyce Irby. I did not know the story of Joyce Irby before this book, Ms. Anthony. So I want to talk about that for a moment because, again, talking about a powerful woman, someone who made a name for herself with Diva Productions. What was that like for you, considering your own love of the industry? What was it like for you to see what she was able to do?
Wow. Listen, I know Joyce and have known Joyce. I book entertainment and have for over 30 years. But now I've worked with Joyce over the years in booking entertainment. But until I started delving into the history of the book, I did not know her history as deeply myself. Joyce Irby, who was one of the key people, wrote a number of the hits for Climax, Meeting in the Ladies' Room, The Men All Pause Climax. Anyway, Joyce Irby, when she first came to Atlanta, she explored and found a lot of talent, musical talent here. So she decided between her trips back and forth to L.A., she constantly was telling her friends there, one of which was the L.A. and Babyface, to they should look at the Atlanta market. There was a lot of talent down here. Everything was wide open in Atlanta. Nothing was really happening, but there was a lot of entertainers here. So she was very instrumental, not only in encouraging them to set up shop here and turning them on to some very important people. A lot of people will remember Dallas Austin, who was paramount in production of the music of the 80s, of the 90s. She hired Dallas when he was still in high school, a kid, because she saw his potential, and I'm sure she taught him far more than we'll ever know, maybe even far more than he'll ever give her credit for. But he interned under her and was employed by her, discovered by her, and the list of people that Dallas has made hits on is terribly long, and the people that contributed, Joyce has contributed to, is very long. She was the diva who brought LaFace and that whole era. I like to call it. People say Atlanta has emerged as a capital of music. Atlanta has resurged as a mecca of music, and it is because of people like Joyce, who was instrumental in bringing that New Jack swing, New Jack players into the city.
Yeah.
And establishing in the city.
I was just going to say the other thing the book does, of course, it brings us up to our day in looking at people like Escape, a group that has gotten a lot of attention, and those individual members and what they've been able to do. But also, I think, showcasing, I think, as we've been talking about here, Ms. Anthony, about the impact they've been able to make, even when they had to kind of carve out their own way, when ways were not available to them. And you see that again even with Joyce.
The South has something to say.
So I want to talk about that. What is that like for you to know? How does that inspire you personally? Because you've been in this industry a long time. How does that inspire you to know what other people have been able to do? How has that kind of helped you in the work that you're doing?
Well, I'm an OG now, man. It gives me hope that the book is to educate, motivate, and inspire. And I want, just as much as older people to look at the book, I want younger people to pick up the book and understand from whence they come, to understand the intricacies of this business, too. It is not easy. There's overnight success may often take 7 to 10 years. It just doesn't happen like that. You have to have, and if you do become an overnight success, you can just almost be sure, just like bubble gum, you'll pop soon. So I think that my inspiration comes from the fact that it will help somebody. Only recently, as I was writing the book, I came across a group of promoters online. They were, I think it was a write-up in Rolling Stone. Black promoters were talking about forming an organization so that black promoters would have a chance to promote acts, A-list acts. A lot of people don't even know the fact that most of the concerts you go to with A-list artists other than rappers, those are controlled by white people, and black promoters can't even have opportunity very rarely to promote acts like that. So this collective of black promoters was complaining and trying to start an organization to appeal to the white agencies to sell them better acts. Well, that whole process was started actually even in the 40s. When I mentioned Mr. Montgomery, they formed an alliance back in those days of the black promoters trying to concentrate power so that they would have the black artists that they helped build and groomed from nowhere to stardom would still allow them to book them, which is a problem the people don't realize in the entertainment community. That once an act, you'll see them at the club, and the promoters will bring them back week to week, month to month, and they'll blow up, finally get a record, and everybody knows who they are. The promoter can't get them to come back and doesn't even take their call anymore. So, and the artist doesn't even take their call anymore. So I saw these black folks. I'm like, you're going to have to get my book because there's going to obviously have to be another way. For 50 years, black promoters have been trying to do the same thing, same story, same technique, begging, let us have the acts. Let us have the acts. Leonard Rowe, you will find in my book, was jailed for that same. He worked on this problem for 40 years. He ended up in jail. He's out now. But the story is long and detailed about the civil rights abuses in live entertainment. And I just sincerely hope that black promoters will find another way. I offer suggestions in the book. If you read it, you might be able to pick up on them. But black promoters might. But I definitely hope that it will be an inspiration to try something different and advance the business of entertainment also. So that we will have, I'm very proud of the young people, especially the hip-hop rappers and stuff, who do produce their own music, have their own labels, but that is limited in its way because then they still sign with white agencies because black promoters don't present themselves appropriately, I guess, but they still sign. The money does not come back into the black community as it should, and we still need to get a handle on that. Years ago, Kenny Gamble, who was with Philadelphia International Records, Gamble and Huff, who produced lots of music, once said, in America, entertainment is second only to oil in its profit and increase of dollars and importance economically. So knowing that and the heart of entertainment is built on the black folks, black music, we ought to be getting a bigger piece of that pie. So the history allows us to visit the problems and the issues that those before us had, and maybe to improve on that. That's our hope. I sincerely hope that the book will offer inspiration for young people and others to do better about the business of entertainment.
Yeah. Ms. Anthony, the last thing I want to talk to you about are the pictures. We've all heard that saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Throughout the book, we're able to see a lot of different pictures, including, of course, a picture with you with Taj Mahal, Monty Montgomery, Roy Ayers. What was that like for you to kind of compile these pictures along with these stories and to be able to remember the stories that those pictures told?
Wow. That particular picture, back in 1994, along with some other people, I started an organization. It's about the same very thing I was just talking about, a collective of promoters and entertainment business people we call COPE, COPE, Club Owners, Promoters, and Entertainment Executives and Entrepreneurs. In 94, we had our first of 6 major national conventions here in Atlanta. And as part of the entertainment, one night we had what we call the World Music Festival, Music the World Loves. And that is blues, reggae, and jazz. And that particular picture you mentioned, I was able to bring in some friends of mine who represented those genres. Taj Mahal presented blues, Roy Ayers presented the jazz, and Monty Montgomery presented reggae. Wow, beautiful concert. Different mix-up of genres, but very entertaining. So it brought back a lot of memories of friends gathering. People from coast to coast had come in, and the impact we started to have on the industry from a live entertainment perspective. We went on to have a number of other world music festivals, but that picture represents the very first one we had. And I like to promote, music, of course. We get lots of R&B and lots of hip-hop, but I think we need to also pay attention to and be broad-minded enough to recognize and participate and listen to blues, jazz, gospel, country, reggae, and keep it in the forefront also, because those are also our musics.
Yeah. There's also another great photo in there that people can look for of Graham Jackson entertaining President Roosevelt in the book. So a lot of great photos for us to take in, a lot of great history that's included in this book. Again, everyone, our guest has been the one and only Miss Libby Anthony. We've been talking with her not only about her own journey in the entertainment industry, but also her book that's now available. It's called Atlanta Entertainment History, Historic Contributions of Entrepreneurs Who Pioneered Juggin in the A. You guys can get it both in print as well as the Kindle edition. Miss Anthony, how can our audience stay connected with you?
You can. We're online. We're at Facebook. My website is IPI. My company is Independent Productions, Inc., IPI. And the website is ipi-bookings.com. We also have the group COPE at Facebook. COPE Club, well, the acronym COPE, and then the Club Owners Promoters Entertainment Conference. And you can find me there. My email address is, don't forget, Independent Productions, Inc., IPI_bookings at yahoo.com, IPI_bookings at yahoo.com. I do sell entertainment, and when we get back up, y'all call me and buy some entertainment from me, too. In the meantime, buy the book. Read the book.
Read the book. Miss Anthony, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate you stopping by the program.
Thank you very much for taking your time and offering me this opportunity. We really appreciate you and all you're doing for the literary community and the inspiration you provide every day for people. Thank you for being you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot, Miss Anthony. We definitely want to once again thank Mr. Joseph Thomas Jr. for setting up this chat with us for today, and thank all of you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.